Here are the 7 healthy foods that are actually testosterone destroyers in disguise. Now, these foods are labeled as healthy, maybe even known to be healthy foods, promoted by doctors, promoted by health influencers, but they actually are dangerous foods for men in disguise. Now, let's go through the 7 dangerous foods that are destroying your testosterone levels. And stick around to the end where I'll be adding 2 bonus benefits to help naturally increase your testosterone. One of these is something I do every single day without fail. And the second is something I stopped doing completely as soon as I learned the detrimental effects. Food number 1. Anything that's labeled vegan or raw vegan. Now, is all vegan food bad for you? Absolutely not. There are plenty of vegan foods that are incredible and are super nutritious and delicious. However, with the vegan propaganda labeling, you are going to be in for a whole whirlwind of testosterone demise. And there's 2 reasons for this. One is because they usually add in ingredients to this. Just like back in the fat is bad days, they would take the good fat and replace it with the trans fats. Now what they're doing is they're taking products, vegan washing them, and then putting in cheap, crappy oils like corn oil, soybean oil, and other super inflammatory oils that will totally wreck your organ health, which therefore will have a significant impact on your hormonal health. And then raw vegan foods. Now, some raw vegan foods like raw vegetables, raw fruits, those are very good for you. But raw packaged products are gonna have a ton of the anti-nutrients that are gonna be so hard for your body to digest. And this impact on your digestion is what's going to be causing that detrimental testosterone decrease. Number 2. This is going to be your refined salts. Think of the iodized table salts. This is very important to differentiate. Celtic sea salt, unrefined sea salts. These are hugely different ingredients. Iodized salts is actually one of the 5 white devils. And the reason for this is because it disrupts the hormones within your body. So that is why it is so crucial for your testosterone health. And also your thyroid health, which has a large role in your overall well-being and mood. However, for testosterone, white salt and table salt is such an issue because it is something that we overlook, right? We're either told that we don't have to have any salt and we should stop having salt because it's bad for us, or we just go eat refined salt from wherever it comes from. The issue with both of those things is that not enough salt is going to cause you to have huge underhydration problems. You're gonna be underhydrated and your body is not gonna be able to use the water because our body is an electric system. So having healthy real salt like Redmond real salt or Celtic sea salt is very important for overall well-being and allowing that whole electric system within your body to function properly. The issue with the table salt is that these are not real. They're not real salts. They're just a chemical compound that mimics the same process within your body, but you're only getting that sodium chloride. You're not going to be getting any of the other minerals that come with salt. And when you do this unnaturally, your body gets out of whack. Slowly but surely over time, it loses its homeostasis and you're not getting all the other nutrients the way that it's been done for thousands of years. And this is why we see so much fear against table salt. There is good reason for that, but the fear shouldn't go over into all types of salt, like sea salt and real salt. This should just be for the sodium chloride table salt that you find very cheaply at grocery stores and restaurants. And then number 3, this would be tap water or bottled water. Now, there are so many reasons why good water is important for you, but with tap water, the biggest problem is you're getting all of the gunk and all of the heavy metals and all the chemicals that are found in the public water system, not to mention also in your pipes. And that is going to be a huge burden on your endocrine system, which is not going to allow your body to process hormones and create hormones naturally. And then secondly, bottled water. Now this might seem like a better option because it seems more pure and it seems to have less issues like tap water would. But here's the deal. They store this in things like plastic, especially plastic that is super high in phytoestrogens. This water absorbs what it is encased in. So if it's clear in plastic, then the plastic is going to be absorbed into the water. And these phytoestrogens in the plastics are going to mimic estrogen within your body. Now, estrogen is a crucial hormone for men and women. However, having too much estrogen and not having enough of your other hormones to balance it out is going to wreak havoc on your hormone panel, as well as how you feel and your S3 actual health. Instead of this, I would recommend dark glass bottles, and even better yet is to invest in a home water filter system. Things like reverse osmosis are great. There is also a great deal of information on hydrogen water, and I would highly recommend looking into hydrogen water for your home filtration system. Now, does it need to be alkaline? Does it need to be this pH level? Those don't matter as much. There are some cool things you can do with high and low pH. You can use it for different things around your house, but what matters the most is making sure that you have pure water. And if you want an added bonus here, put a little pinch of sea salt in your water to get those extra minerals. So best case scenario is you get super pure, very low TDS, total dissolved solids water, and then you add a little pinch of sea salt in there to add minerals naturally. And then if you want to go above and beyond, you can put in some magnesium bicarbonate. This is what I personally do. Highly purified water with sea salt and magnesium bicarbonate liquid, which I make on my own. And then that combination is what I drink every day. Food number 4, breakfast cereal. Now this one's really near and dear to me because I grew up on this stuff and my dad loves cereal. He still eats it to this day. I'm trying to convince him to get off it. There's a myriad of reasons to avoid breakfast cereal, but for me personally, one of the biggest things I noticed was all of the preservatives and chemicals that go into this. Not to just mention the sugars and carbs because those are up there as well, but the amount of chemicals and preservatives like BHT and the food colorings, these have all been clinically proven to have a negative impact on your health and your hormone levels. So cut out the cereals. You're not 12 anymore. It's important to eat food and make your own food like an adult. Cereals are such an easy fix, and not only are they bad for you to eat, but the mindset of just taking something and having it in a box and being able to just eat it whenever you want, it's very lazy and it just makes you lethargic, and not to mention the crash you get from the sugar after makes you not want to do anything productive. So you're gonna need to cancel that out with either a nap or some coffee, and it's a vicious cycle. Now, number 5 is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, and this one is milk. Now, milk comes in many shapes and sizes allegedly now. Usually it's just cow's milk and goat milk and sheep's milk, but now it comes in almond milk, soy milk, cashew milk, oat milk. All these big name brands are coming in here. And to be honest, I don't think any of them are good. And this is for a whole slew of reasons. But the biggest one for the cow milk is because they're chock full of hormones and they are not fed a natural diet. They're fed corn, soy, grain, and they're super high inflammatory products that these cows have to consume, which goes into their system and internally makes them sick. They're sick cows creating sick milk. So you wouldn't want to drink milk or anything from a sick animal. And then they try and fix it with the almond milk, with the oat milk, with the soy milk. Now, these are an alternative for those who aren't able to consume milk due to personal or dietary reasons. However, they're becoming a huge craze. And the problem with these is that you're getting a super mega dose of all of these anti-nutrients like you would get from the oats and the almonds. But on top of that, it's mostly just gums. It's just fillers. It's just sugars. You're not getting anything internally. I used to work at a factory that produced these milks. And the people who were working there, who were really friendly and very actually nice people, they told me that they were just making sugar water. They didn't think that this really had anything to it, but it was their job and they were good at it. So they kept making it. However, the issue with these milks is that they don't have any nutritional value. Yes, there's nutritional facts on the back, and they take things like basically chalk to give it calcium, and they put in different vitamins and minerals to make it look like it has high quality nutrients, but this is all fake. This isn't real. The only good source of any sort of milk is if you can find a nice raw grass-fed dairy that's near you, preferably with A2 casein. Now, A1 casein is what's found in most Holstein cows, which is the cows that 99.9% of the stores sell, which are the type of cows that create the milk that 99.9% of stores sell. The A1 casein is very inflammatory for most people, not to mention these cows are sick and living in bad conditions, so you do not want to be supporting that, let alone drinking that and putting that sick cow fluid into your body. But milk can be a superfood if you use it correctly. And that is why I recommend grass-fed, grass-finished A2 casein cow's milk, or grass-fed, grass-finished goat's milk, or grass-fed, grass-finished sheep's milk, because goat's and sheep's milk is always A2 casein. However, cow's milk is usually A1 from the Holstein cows. If you want to get A2, it would be from a Jersey cow. So for some people, it's the plant milks. For some people, it's the animal milks, but they're both pretty bad. I would recommend finding a quality source and just drinking it less, because in this case, less is definitely more if you want to optimize your hormone levels. Number 6, we're going to be talking about salad dressing. This is something that I see used all the time. I grew up in an Italian household, so they would use salad dressing and marinate different cuts, different vegetables, and it would be like a natural part of my life, not just for salads, but it'd be used for many things. And I started to realize that the biggest ingredients on these salad dressings was processed seed oils and corn syrup. So these are 2 factors that will have a huge detriment to your hormonal health, because the corn syrup is going to be a huge spike of insulin, and it's going to be very detrimental for your overall well-being and mood. And then the seed oils are going to cause inflammation and gut issues that really disrupt the endocrine system. So instead, use cold pressed olive oil and things like lemon or lime. One tip with the olive oil is to taste it, and if it doesn't burn your throat, then it's probably cut with another oil. So if you want to find some of the best quality olive oil, you should taste it and you should see if it burns the back of your throat, and then stick with the brands that give you that burn, because then that's how you know it's real olive oil and not cut with some cheaper other oil, which they don't even mention on the ingredients list. Number 7, we're talking about energy bars. These are so common now. They're at the natural food stores, they're at the gas stations, they're everywhere. People have been eating these bars since I was a kid because they are convenient, they're easy, right? Issues with these bars is not only that they're full of corn syrups and different oils that are seed oils, but they're also very processed. And anything processed is going to have chemicals in it and going to have compounds in it that most likely will wreak havoc on your hormonal health and your endocrine system. Now, there are some good bars out there. I like a couple of the bone broth based bars. Those are pretty tasty and they're super healthy. Cashew butter based bars. But 99% of the time, the bars you find are going to be a little fix. I wouldn't stick to a bar a day. I wouldn't find bars that you use consistently. I would have them as an occasional snack. Find a good bar that you actually like that has clean ingredients, and then take that with you maybe once or twice a week maximum, but don't make it your whole meal. I had a phase where I would live off of bars and it just totally tanked my hormone levels. I was eating way too many bars and it was basically all I ate throughout the day while I was working. It just was not a fun time for my health journey. It wasn't a fun time for my skin journey or my personal mental health journey. So I would highly recommend to avoid making the bars mainstay in your diet. And then of course, let's get into some of the obvious ones, like beer. Now this one not only is full of phytoestrogens from the hops, but it's also super carb heavy and causes a lot of inflammation. So it gives you that gut, and that gut is one of the worst things you can have for optimal hormone levels. It's actually interesting with men and women. Having excess fat in the body will cause such a large impact on their hormone health. And then the next blatantly obvious one is fast food. The biggest thing here, besides of course the seed oils, the sugars, and all the processed white flour and white salt, is the fact that the ingredient list is like this long. It's got like 50 things on it for one item, for like a hamburger. You know, it should just be beef, lettuce, tomato, onions, if you like onions. But the ingredient list is it's like 50 to 100 things. It's crazy what they put in there and what they can get away with, because you don't look at it. You have to ask them to see the ingredients, and you can't change it. Like, it's already made that way. So when you get processed food, you're just having chemical warfare inside your body. Like, you're having all of these preservatives, all of these hormone disruptors, not to mention all the plastics and the low quality food, the low quality meat that you're getting from these fast food chains are having this huge war within your body. And usually the fast food ends up winning, unfortunately. And that is why fast food has been shown to be such a detriment to overall health. It may act differently in different people. Some people might get more fat. Some people might have more inner fat issues. But another thing here is that they combine it with sugary drinks, which is one of the next obvious ones. You're having this sugary drink either full of corn syrup or full of a artificial sweetener. And what this is doing is just tricking your gut microbiome, tricking your brain. And then in turn, you're combining this with this processed food. Now, if you drink these beverages by themselves, they still have a huge impact on your liver health, on your insulin spikes, and of course, leading to things like diabetes, which usually comes with being overweight, which then in turn makes you have hormone problems. The final one is the processed baked goods. Now these are disgusting. These are things you see, sometimes they're cooked, sometimes they're room temperature, but they are just another thing that are full of chemicals, full of compounds, full of preservatives that are going to wreak havoc on your hormone levels. I would highly avoid all of these last things on top of those 7 things that I mentioned earlier. But these last ones are pretty obvious, so I hope you're already avoiding these. If you're not, then you might be a little bit too far gone, but there's always hope. So here are 2 things that aren't food related that can help with your hormone levels. And number 1, this is my personal favorite. I do it every day. Go into bed naked. No clothes, just let it ride, baby. Now this is a very touchy subject because some people are like, well, I have kids. I don't want to be naked. What if something happens in the middle of the night? And there are good alternatives like very loose fitting organic boxers that you can wear to bed. And the benefit here is that your body can breathe. Where you're producing these hormones, your testicles, these are getting more temperature controlled. At nighttime is when you produce the most hormones. That's why morning is when you have the highest spike of testosterone. So when you sleep, and if you're keeping yourself too warm, if you're keeping your little, your little buddies down there, you're keeping them too tight and too warm, they're not going to be able to produce what they're supposed to be producing. You know what I'm saying? And then on a similar topic, lifestyle change number 2 is making sure you're wearing more cotton, avoiding the polyester. When you're wearing the polyester and the chemically derived PFEs around your manly bits, that's when you're going to have more long-term issues. So what happens here is that your skin absorbs what's on it because your skin is your largest organ. And these chemicals are getting right into your manhood region. I personally recommend either 100% cotton that's organic or something like bamboo or hemp. Those are the best options out there for underwear that I know of. And then keep it loose, baby. So go check in your pantry, go check in your refrigerator, see if you have these foods. And then if you are using these foods, make sure to switch them out for something more healthy. But on top of that, add in those little tips and just see how you feel. Just let me know in the comments if you're already doing these things or if there's something that you try that feels great.